It's so exciting. We've been getting together here in Japan with leaders, ex-leaders, emerging leaders from around the world on the topic of sustainability. And what's exciting about it is that we are sharing about knowledge, but most importantly, each of these leaders are challenging themselves to go and practice sustainability, to win other people over to become leaders for sustainability also, and then to support each other in a community where we keep learning, we keep challenging ourselves, we keep growing our leadership, and we keep learning from each other about the practices that we do in different places. It could be about waste management, it could be about water management, it could be about keeping buildings cooler for a lower cost in a more sustainable way, and many other aspects of sustainability. So we have here friends, we have here leaders from the Americas, from Africa, from different parts of Asia, and of course here from Japan. And we are so inspired by the examples that we see here on how Japanese people separate their waste, how they make sustainability a natural part of their livelihood and business here. So sustainability, for me, I have a track record in water management. And water affects almost all parts of life and economic activity and the environment. We're using, more than 1.5 times the resources that our world has. That also applies to water resources. So much of it we are polluting, we're overusing, we're not recycling enough. So the area of sustainability that I have a track record in, and I feel personally very warmly about, is water management in connection with environment, but also the social dimensions. There's so much social injustice about people having access to water and water services in different ways, and that for me is also a very important part of sustainability. We used to think in the world that leaders are born. Some people are born leaders and others aren't. Nowadays we know better. We know that leadership is something you can develop in your life, and there are three things that are important in that. You need some knowledge. You need to learn something from other people. This is about your attitude, your values, your skills, for example. The most important part is that you go out and challenge yourself to practice what you learned, and then to have people around you, your peers, mentor, coaches, who help you reflect on what you learned and get over your valleys of experience. Sometimes you have lower points where you feel really challenged, to enable you to go on again, richer with the lessons that you've learned. So it's the challenge, it's the knowledge, but the knowledge is actually a smaller part. The challenge is the bigger part. And then to have a community of fellow leaders, mentors and coaches that you work with. So we call it the 70-20-10 rule. 70 stands for the challenge that you engage in to expand yourself, get out of your comfort zone, achieve more. And the 10% is the knowledge that you use to do so, and the 20% are the developmental relations that you have from people around you that you learn from, reflect with, and who also support you when the going gets tough, but you in turn also support them and keep learning together. And that's what's special in Nelis here. It's a community of leaders who have chosen to learn together, to grow together, and to support each other in that learning process. Yeah, so in Nelis, we have that 20%. We work with fellow practitioners, fellow leaders, as the lens we use. So we learn together, but also it's the challenge. Nelis is not a talk shop. Nelis is not a place where you just philosophize and have new ideas and new inspiration. No, it's a community of doers. You challenge yourself to do things, and that's also what you exchange with the other people about. So, plus we share knowledge as well. We keep learning. So I would say it's all three. It's a 70, the 20, and the 10. We live in a noisy world, and we know that the solutions that we've been using for these past years and decades are not the solutions that are going to make our world more sustainable, the world we live in today, and the challenges that are already around the corner and that are going to affect our life individually but collectively in the years to come. So we can't just keep using the same solutions. So amidst that noise, we need to get quiet. We need to spend some time reflecting together on new solutions, on disruption, on smart solutions, on not just the technology, but it comes from the people. So we need to listen to each other also. Many of us have great new solutions, but not all of us perhaps are confident enough yet to bring them out and to practice them. And that's again where Nelis Network can help to listen to each other for the solutions we want to pilot, we want to roll out, and help each other in doing so. And doing that, not just talking, but listening. Yesterday we talked in the practice about we have two ears and one mouth, but sometimes it seems that our mouth has a priority. So active listening, deep listening, and also listening to what wants to happen, what wants to come, what should come, is something that's part of the Nelis activity of listening into the future. We talk about lean in, perhaps we should also talk about listening in. So we talked here at the Nelis gathering about leadership being about influencing. And that means that each of us, as we step up to be better influencers, we have to talk in different languages according to our audience. What will speak and resonate with the minds, but also the hearts of our audience. Some of these languages, they go back to the wisdom traditions of our local communities around the world, age-old wisdoms on sustainability being something that you celebrate your unity with the earth and the earth's resources, and also the wisdom of your ancestors, how communities used to do things, and that gives them the courage to form a group today. On the other hand, we also need to expand that with all the connectivity we have today to a much more holistic picture and a future-oriented picture. But that future-oriented holistic perspective also is tied in with not just the material side and the rational cognitive side, it is about the spiritual side of life as well. In fact, that's all where it comes together. When the astronauts went to the moon and they looked back by accident and they took those amazing pictures of the Earth, they told us that they were filled with a sense of awe, that they were part of something much, much bigger. It's like, you know, if we compare ourselves with a lamp bulb, our brightest light shines when we are plugged into that power source that allows us to shine bigger. Some people call that the universe, some people give it another name. Many people give it a name through a religious tradition or another wisdom tradition. So part of our leadership languages include that type of language that allow us to connect with that bigger space that we work within. However, we have to see that many leaders and audiences that we work with are also others. They're corporate, they are perhaps governments or more hierarchical structures. So we have to then reframe our language. We have to reframe our message of sustainability and leadership into a language that those audiences will understand, so we can make it more entrepreneurial, more progress-oriented, or more social, or more seeing it as a learning journey, compared to the TED Talks that we can watch and be inspired by new ideas worth spreading. These are actually all different languages. So as we grow as leaders, we learn to what I call work in all colors, because the model I use has 7 languages represented by colors. To be a really good leader, we should not only speak in the color of the language that we are familiar with, but reach more audiences by learning more communication styles to communicate with them. So I call it work in all colors, not just in the color that is your favorite style. So I'm Wouter. I am from the Netherlands. I've lived a long time and worked a long time in Asia, where I still live and work today. I'm passionate about sustainability. I'm passionate about leadership. I'm passionate to help other people develop the best, the masterpiece in them. Let it come out as in a beautiful block of marble that we keep carving until the masterpiece statue comes out. I do that through coaching, mentoring, some teaching and training as well, and speaking where I can. That's my passion.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Wouter, for sharing your passion.
Gracias. Yeah, thank you so much for giving.